The King and I, written by composer Richard Rodgers and dramatist Oscar Hammerstein, is a 1951 musical derived from the novel Anna and the King of Siam by Margaret Landon. Based on true events, the musical tells the story of Anna Leonowens, an English widow who was hired by the King of Siam to teach his many wives and children the English language and other Western customs as part of an initiative to modernize his country. Set in 1866, the film highlights the differences between Eastern and Western cultures during British imperialism through the progression of Anna and the King's unlikely friendship. The scene opens to a long shot of the King's chambers as Anna enters from the left of the room. The design of the room is set up much like a stage would be, as if the film is a recorded stage performance of the musical. However, in this scene there is no music and no sound at all other than the voices of the characters. The lack of other sounds allows the audience to focus on the innate differences between Anna and the King and the dynamic between the two.
Oh, Your Majesty is reading the Bible.
Ah, Mrs. Anna, I think your Moses shall have been a fool.
Moses?
Anna is dressed in a white gown and black corset as she stands poised in the extravagantly decorated room. In contrast to the King's ornate garments and the colorful room, she seems very out of place. The King questions her about the Bible, to which Anna explains the difference between scientific and religious writings in the English language. In this scene, Anna seems to be as much of a teacher to the King as she is to his wives and children.
That is not reason, but first I wish to discuss Moses. Now, how am I ever to learn truth if different English books state different things?
Your Majesty, the Bible was not written by men of science, but by men of faith. It was their explanation of the miracle of creation, which is the same miracle whether it took 6 days or many centuries.
Huh. I still think your Moses shall have been a fool.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Now, was there something else?
Take letter.
A letter? Now?
Now, when else? Now is always best time. Take letter to Mr. Lincoln of America, who is very scientific ruler.
Very well, Your Majesty.
From Pramihamungut. By the blessing of the highest superagency in the world of the whole universe, the King of Siam, sovereign of all tributary countries adjacent and around in every direction, etc., 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 do you not have any respect for me? Why do you stand over my head? I cannot stand all the time. And in this country, no one's head shall be higher than king's.
The alternating medium close-ups of Anna and the King continue to depict the conversation. The King commands Anna to grovel in front of him as his other subjects do, but Anna refuses. The King compromises and says that her head should not be higher than his. As they kneel, sit, and lie down in unison, the camera follows the pair's movements down towards the floor. All the lighting is coming from the inside of the palace, as the background outside of the chambers is dark to resemble nighttime. The mood becomes less tense and more familiar when Anna promises to follow the King's orders.
But you'll observe care that head shall never be higher than mine. When I shall sit, you shall sit. When I shall kneel, you shall kneel, etc., etc., etc.
Very well, Your Majesty.
Is promise.
Is promise.
Good. To His Royal Presidency of the United States in America, Abraham Lincoln, etc. You fix up.
The King has Anna write a letter to President Abraham Lincoln about sending elephants to the United States to be used as working animals. This idea goes against the King's drive for modernization, but speaks to how the King views his part of the world. Similar to the law of prostration, the King is reluctant to accept changes and differences in culture, while aiming to make Siam more technologically and scientifically advanced.
I'll be sending you several pairs of young male elephants to be turned loose in forest of America. America.
We see Anna smile as the king continues to dictate his letter. She seems to find his ideas humorous while also attempting to remain poised. Although she thinks his ideas are silly, she acknowledges that the king is well-intentioned and feels that their relationship is beginning to change from teacher to confidant and friend despite their cultural asymmetry.
And use them as beasts of burden.
Only male elephants, Your Majesty?
You put on the details. Good night.